Hi, welcome back. This is St. Thomas Aquinas for everyone. My name is Dave Palmer, and we are moving our way through the Summa Theologia, and we have now gotten to, as I mentioned before, the most popular article in the entire Summa, and how awesome in God's great providence is it 1, 2, 3. Part 1, question 2, and Article 3 of the Summa. 1, 2, 3 is the 5 proofs for the existence of God, sometimes called the 5 ways. There's a Latin expression for it as well, but we'll be speaking English here, right? Of course, Thomas would have written the Summa in Latin, maybe Italian, but he would not have written it in English for sure. All right, so we're going to take these one at a time, and the 5 proofs shown in this graphic right here are the proof by motion, the proof by cause. First two are very similar to each other: possibility, necessity, perfection, and also the proof from intelligence, sometimes called governance of the world or intelligent designer. That's probably, I don't know which one's the most talked about, but I think the number 5 is my personal favorite, but they're all really good, and we're going to take them one day at a time, okay? Because I think each one deserves its own video, its own segment. So let's get right to it and talk about, well, first of all, St. Thomas Aquinas. A little bit of information about them, and this should ring back to previous videos that I've done, so see if you can make these associations. St. Thomas Aquinas believed that the natural world provided a lot of evidence for God's existence, okay? Does that sound like yesterday's video where we talked about the fact that the existence of God can be demonstrated, right? Remember we had this graphic where when you see a baby, you see dogs or cats or snakes or squirrels or platypuses, you should be thinking about where they came from. And this should create in you a sense of awe, a sense of wonder, right? The photosynthesis process, I've talked a lot about that. And then the very planetary movement around the sun. I mean, absolutely incredible. You know, we're given so many opportunities to just be in absolute awe of God every single day. And I fear that most of us miss those opportunities. And even I, as long as I've been studying the Summa, have to remind myself every day, like, slow down, pay attention to what's around you and the grandeur of creation, right? So in his work, the Summa Theologia, he set out 5 ways of proving God's existence from this evidence, okay? This is from our the evidence that we can come to know through the natural light of reason. So we're not talking about sacred doctrine here. We're not talking about divine law that we've talked about. This is only through our senses and our reason we can figure out that God exists. These proofs were concerned with the things people observed and experienced every day. Look at that, a posteriori. Remember learning about that? So it's all kind of making sense and how exciting it is. So like I said, we're just going to go over one of the proofs today, and it's the first one, the argument or the proof from motion. And we're going to take this kind of line by line. This is not directly from the Summa, but this is more of my summary of what Thomas says in this argument, okay? We can observe that things are in motion. Now, nobody can argue with that, right? You see motion every day. You ever been to a golf course or even putt-putt and you see a ball moving? Well, you never thought that it put itself in motion, right? You know that something put it into motion, like this golf ball moving towards our head right now. How about this? You ever been in traffic? I don't know if you've been in traffic, you know, this big city traffic. Cars are moving, people are moving. I mean, there's always motion and movement everywhere, okay? The fact that there's motion, I don't really need to display that for you, but, you know, I just wanted to give you one more picture. Here's a lady running. We all move. I'm moving right now. You're probably moving as you're watching this, right? Your, you know, circulation of blood through your body. There's always movement. It's happening all the time. All right, so then Thomas is going to say they are put in motion by something else, right? So nobody, like I said, is going to see a golf ball fly by or an arrow and say, oh, that is put into motion by itself. No, we know that something put that ball, something put that arrow, something put that car into motion. And then he says, a thing cannot be both mover and moved with regard to a particular motion. The car is either being moved or moving, right? Even us, I mean, our bodies don't move themselves, right? We have a soul that animates our body. And so just look at a corpse. The corpse doesn't do a lot of movement because a body can't move itself. A body is moved by its principle, which is the soul, right? Okay, so a thing cannot be moved and mover in regard to the same particular motion. All right? Something put it in motion and was put in motion itself. Concepts that are very important in Thomistic philosophy are potentiality and act. Okay, act has its sound, something that acts. Potentiality means that there's a potential for movement, a potential to be acted upon, right? So this coaster right here has potentiality to drop. And if I were to drop it, well, then it realized the act of dropping, or gravity pulling it down, right? So this cannot go on to infinity, right? So if something is moved, you say, what moved it? A was moved by B. B had to have been moved by C. C was moved by D. D was moved by E. Well, you go back and back and back and back and back to infinity, and it doesn't make sense that it just keeps going on and on and on. Thomas is saying here that at some point there had to have been a mover that was not moved itself. Okay, there exists a first mover who was not moved, and Thomas says the only thing that fits that category, the only being, would be God himself, who can not have been moved himself, but is the first mover. And again, this is going to come up and up a lot. In fact, tomorrow when we talk about the first cause, I'm going to introduce the 4 causes that Aristotle came up with, like material cause and formal cause and final cause and efficient cause. It's very, very interesting. So come back tomorrow for that lesson. So here they are again, the 5 proofs for the existence of God. Let me know, does this make sense? Did you think that the proof from motion made sense? Is it convincing? Are there any holes in it? Any problems that you see? Comment below and let me know what you think. Not many of you are commenting right now, but I know you must have some thoughts. If you're watching these videos, there must be some questions that pop in your mind. So go ahead, bite the bullet, and leave your comments below. And I appreciate you watching very much. This is St. Thomas Aquinas for everyone. My name is Dave Palmer. We are going through the 5 proofs for the existence of God. Tomorrow we move on to proof number 2. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.